Whew, that's kind of loud. All right, so we started talking about surface area and volume in the last video, and we got through the prisms, but I was looking at the video length getting pretty long there, so I wanted to make a new video on the pyramids themselves. So let's kind of review real quick. We looked at the formulas for surface for area, and we had all these formulas, and we also looked at the general formulas for any type of prism or for any prism and volume. Those are the general surface area formulas. So let's concentrate on just the prisms, the pyramids themselves. The surface area is the area of the base plus half the perimeter times the slant height. This will work anytime it's considered a right regular polygon. Pyramid. So as long as the vertex, the top of the pyramid is right over the middle of the base, you can use that formula. When it's not, you kind of have to unfold it, look at the net, and find the area of each one of those faces. So, oh, my divided by 3 didn't come up. Move that up there where it belongs. Okay, so we were talking about this first pyramid at the end of the last video. And the one thing I wanted to point out to you was that the slant height and the apothem, that length there, the apothem, which is also this number, and the height and the slant height all go together to make a right triangle, being a squared plus h squared equals l squared. So we will need that to help us to figure out volume when we go to find the height of the pyramids. In either case, I still have to have the height here, and that's the apothem, and in either case, that formula has to be true. Okay, so now let's find the surface area. Surface area says it's the area of the base times half the perimeter times the height. Well, I have an equilateral triangle, so I can use its formula, or I can use the fact that they gave me the height of the triangle. So area of the base is going to be 1/2 times the base, which is 9, times the height, and I'm going to go ahead and use their 7.8 because it's there, plus 1/2 the perimeter. Well, that's 3 times 9, because that's an equilateral triangle on the bottom, times the slant height of 7.5. So now if I run those through my calculator, 9 times 7.8 divided by 2 is 35.1, and times 0.5 times 27 times 7.5 says I have 101.25, and if I add those two numbers together, we get 136.35 square meters. Now, let's try to find the volume of this first pyramid. The volume has to be the area of the base times the height divided by 3. Area of the base times the height divided by 3. Well, the area of the base is easy. It's going to be 1/2 times 9 times 7.8. Now, the height, we're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem type thing and work that out. So I'm going to have 2.6 squared plus h squared has to equal 7.5 squared. Now, I'm going to solve that for the h. So I'm going to take 7.5 squared minus 2.6 squared. So I get h squared is 49.49. So to find the actual height, I got to square root that number. And I get somewhere around 7.03. So I'm going to just call it as a height of 7 for easy math. Times 7, and then I got to divide by 3. Now down here, as I work through this problem, that 7, I'm going to use the whole number that's in my calculator. So times 7.8 times 9, divide that by 2, take that whole answer and divide it by 3, and I get 82.3 cubic inch meters. So I took the area of the base times the height, which I had to find, and I divided it by 3. So now let's take a look at the other pyramid. The other pyramid is a hexagon shape. It's a hexagon shape. So that means my perimeter isn't going to be 3 times, it's going to be 6 times whatever the side length is, and they tell me that's 8. And my slant height is 13.9, and I should figure out the real height now and make things a lot easier. So I would take my my apothem. There we go. I need it. 6.9. So I'm going to take 6.9 squared, add the height squared. That's going to have to equal 13.9 squared. And I would use that to find my height. So remember this little formula because that's going to come back to get us. So surface area is area of the base, so 1/2 the apothem, 6.9 times the perimeter. Well, that would be 6 times 8, which is 48, times 48, plus 1/2 that 48 times the slight height of 13.9. Just using the formula. So 0.5 times 6.9 times 48 plus 0.5 times 48 times 13.9. I get a total of 499.2 square kilometers as a surface area of that pyramid. Now let's take a look at the other one, the volume. Area of the base isn't going to be that hard, 1/2 times the 6.9 times the 48 times the height. Well, now it's going to go back to this equation here. So I'm going to take that 13.9 squared minus the 6.9 squared. That's going to give me 145.6. I'm going to square root that number. And I get like 12. The height is approximately 12. But I'm going to use the whole number that's in my calculator again. 12. And then I'm going to divide all this by 3. So if I do that, so my height times the 48 times the 6.9, divide that by 2, divide that by 3, and I get 666.1 cubic meters inside that pyramid. That would be an awfully large pyramid, bigger than anything that's out there. But those are the formulas for surface area and volume of a pyramid. It gets tricky when that base isn't a nice number that we used way back in algebra or in 8th grade math when we did these same type of things. They're a little bit more complicated. Your assignment is the surface area worksheet. Surface area and volume worksheet. You're going to have to find surface area and volumes of prisms and pyramids. That's what you got. I think you can do it now.